Hello, hello. It is actually, I'm recording for day 338 to 340 of my 365-day raw suspending disbelief journey. This is from March 26th to 28th. And this was quite an unusual window. So I had my kids were all back on the 26th on the Wednesday, and they were back and they were crazy. The younger two clearly had not gotten, as much sleep as they normally would at home, and it had been for more days than usual, and all of that. So there was like this build up there. And then Cadence was home, and she was like I said in I think the last episode, it had been like 5 days of sleepovers, and so she was exhausted. And um I was rested and good, so I was able to sort of like calmly handle that, and that was good. But it was definitely a screwy day, a little bit. Sort of everybody else's moods were really screwy. And I had I did have calls booked during spring break, so this was really interesting, just because normally like I would reschedule things all over spring break and whatever, but I've rescheduled so much lately that I don't want to reschedule anything I don't have to. And my kids weren't home for all of it, so it's like some of them are fine, and some of them, well, I'll just make do with the kids home, and which is fine. It's something that, majority of my clients have children and are totally fine with the occasional interruption, and it's no big deal. So I just rolled with it. Um, and And then actually, so my mom wanted to see the kids again. She hadn't, it had been a long time before the last time she took them. And it wasn't that long this time, but she was like, I want to take them again. And considering the last time, I really just had to reset the entire time because I was so close to burnout. I was all the way behind her taking them again this time. So even though it was like, yep, it's spring break and I'm supposed to have some days with them and all these things, I was like, yes. But instead of it being just sort of indefinitely or as long as possible or anything like that, I was just like, just for the one night and like the 2 days on either side of that night, because I want them to have time to catch up on sleep the weekend before school and get back on schedule and all of that stuff. So I did send them, and even just that one day of them being home and crazy, it took me a little bit to restore. They were home for a good chunk of Thursday as well. And I had Jace in particular, like Cadence wasn't happy to go. She was like, I want to still hang out with more friends. This is my break. And I was like, it's also, you need to also see your grandparents, and you also need to not be on a sleepover every single night because you will be exhausted and it will be insane, and all of these things. So and then Jace also, he was excited to see Nana, but then it was like, um, wait a minute, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna stay the night. I'm not gonna get to have screens because she's really great about not having them on screens all the time. And he just all of a sudden he just sort of melted down. And when it was time for her to take them, and I ended up needing to spend like a good chunk of time helping him regulate. And um, it was probably it was really interesting because it was probably the best I've ever done with regulating myself, to be able to hold space for him to regulate, or to, like, whatever you might call it, co-regulate with him. Um, but it was also one of the stretchiest times. Like, it was really dragging out, and I was just like, but I was able to sort of hold through that, thankfully. And he ended up going and having a great time, and everything was fine. But it was a little bit different and a little bit stretchy. And part of me was going like, should I just keep him? Like, he really wants to be at home. And, um, but I knew that he really wanted to be at home mainly because he wanted to be on a screen, and it had been a snowstorm. And so he was like, thinking that maybe he would be able to get away with a lot of screen time because it was so yucky outside and all of these things. But instead, he got to go and, toboggan on the farm and do, all these fun things. So um, it was really good. And I took the rest of that evening to sort of reset myself. And then I had the most productive, like work-wise, productive day that I have had in ages on the Friday on day 340 or March 28th. So I was just like, all of a sudden, a switch went off. And it was like, okay, you finally have listened long enough. You finally shut down long enough. And it was just like, go, 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 go. I opened an email and saw, was connected to a platform to go read somebody's article. And I saw this platform and I was like, I've never seen this platform before. And I kind of started browsing around it. And all of a sudden it was just like that switch went off. And I was able to, I set up like a whole account on it. I did all these things. And part of me was doing the check-in. Like, am I just doing like the ADHD rabbit hole? Am I just like trying something new? But it was really, what was really incredible was that it was the thing. It was the thing that for the last year almost has been trying to come through. And that is that I'm supposed to be writing. And this platform is specifically designed for writers, and it's like all written content, and it's not the competitiveness and flashiness of regular social media and like all of these things. So I was just like, oh, it just felt amazing. So I went down that rabbit hole, but it wasn't just a rabbit hole. It was like the right rabbit hole, right? And I spent like a solid 6 hours almost working without getting up from from my desk, which is like I haven't done that in months. And all of a sudden I was like, oh man, like I haven't gone to the bathroom. I haven't got drinks, food, nothing. Like I gotta take care of me for a little bit here. And I took my break and all of that stuff. But it was just really exciting to be so lit up and getting so much done for such a long stretch of time. And I was so grateful that my mom ended up taking the kids for that day. So, and then they came back that night and it's like, okay, now we're going to have the rest of this weekend to sort of reset and be prepared to go back to school, but have it also be a really different school experience than we've ever experienced because Jace starts halftime school on Monday. So it's exciting. It's also stretchy. It's a little bit, it's different. It's not what we're used to. And yet I'm trusting and suspending disbelief about it. So that is what I have to share with you guys today. And I will talk to you all tomorrow.